Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Y'all, I have been so excited preparing my video today. I know that I'm like a little bit late doing the whole like New Year thing, but like I said, I've been on a break for about a month and there's been so many things on my mind that I've really been going over that I've been so excited to share with y'all. And listen, I'm a little delayed, okay? So I can't help it. But that doesn't make these things any less important. I am going to share with you guys today some habits that I am going to be intentional about instilling this year for 2024. Paul says in 1 Timothy to discipline yourself for the purpose of godliness. I know it sounds dumb, but sometimes like in the winter, especially in like the Christmas season, it's so easy to let all of our disciplines go, because there's just so much going on. I particularly struggled this year with all of the sickness that we had going on. Literally every structure that I had just went out the window because there was just so much need on like the sickness front. And I just got so out of whack. I could not wait for the holidays to be over so that we could finally get back into a rhythm, get back into a routine, that I could have some kind of like structure in my life and really be able to see like a plan to move forward to become the person that I want to be. I want to discuss kind of like what I mean by habits. There's like resolutions and stuff and goals, and those are all great things. But I'm not looking for just like accomplishing a goal just for this year. I'm looking to instill something for like a lifetime, and that starts with habits. And it's so funny, I've heard places that it's like if you do something for 21 days in a row that it becomes a habit. Listen, maybe that's true for some people, but it is not true for me. I have been dedicated to doing things for 21 days, 40 days, like months on end, and it never actually becomes easier. I just have to make myself a disciplined person. I'm not just going to do these responsible things just from the goodness of my heart, okay? I need to be a disciplined person. I've also discovered, I know I've like alluded to this a little bit over the last few months, but I've also discovered that I have ADHD, which for some of you guys, you're probably like, oh, duh. But for me, I literally just found this out. I had this idea of what I thought ADHD looked like from what I saw in school in boys being like super hyperactive. In case y'all are unaware, it manifests completely different in women, and in particular adult women. And I think that it has helped me in a way because it makes me realize like, oh, this is why things are so easy for other people and so difficult for me. And being disciplined is one of those things. And so I am telling you guys because I need to be held accountable. So the definition of a habit is a regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. So our church is actually going through a book called The Being Challenge. And in it, they talk a little bit about habits. They say that habits emerge because the brain is constantly looking for ways to save effort. A good habit is one that saves time and energy so that we can focus on making a good decision in another area of our life. Being a disciplined person means choosing what is right over choosing what is easy. I love what John Orberg says about how habits will eat willpower for breakfast. If we rely solely on our willpower, there's no way that we can get these things done. But if we just take like one small step every day, that can create a habit, that can create a foundation for life, that we are able to become the people that we are hoping to be. There's a Chinese proverb that says a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So that's what we're doing here. I'm gonna go over with you guys the few habits that I'm hoping to do over this next year. And I need y'all to keep me accountable for these. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first habit that I'm going to lead with is actually our food habits. So Josh and I have this amazing privilege of him working for the church. And at the church, a lot of times they'll have volunteers who come over the dinner hour and they feed those volunteers. Well, at the end of the night, there's usually food left over. Usually it's like Papa John's pizza or something. It's not anything usually like super healthy, but because Josh is one of the people on staff that has a family at home, usually he kind of has like first pick when it comes to like, hey, do you want to take this stuff home? And he's always like, yes, if I can feed my family for free. I mean, pizza that tastes good, then why not? Well, the bad part about that is that our family winds up eating a lot of free pizza. And it makes it so that we don't have to rely on cooking at home a lot, which also compromises our health. So we're really going to try to be better about just cooking from scratch in general. I'm also trying to introduce more eggs and protein, but this is hard for me because I'm not like a huge fan of eggs. But trying to just bring as much meat as possible into it, I think I'm realizing that just as a human being, I don't get enough protein. And I know that as a woman, you're supposed to get like, I think it's like your weight, you're supposed to have that in grams in protein each day, and that just blows my mind. That actually leads us perfectly into today's sponsor, which is Good Chop. These guys offer fully customizable boxes of high quality meat and seafood, and it's delivered to your door on your own schedule. These products are vacuum sealed and flash frozen at peak freshness so that you can cook and thaw them whenever you want. We are meat lovers in this family, but as many of you know, meat can be really expensive. Good Chop's quality cuts don't cost a fortune. Their price per meal starts at just $3.74. And unlike many other companies, Good Chop sources its meat exclusively from American farms and fisheries. By choosing Good Chop, you are supporting local family farms and independent ranchers right here in the United States. You can choose from over 60 high quality cuts, and they only serve y'all the good stuff. So that means no hormones, no antibiotics ever. So we got some boneless ribeyes actually the other night, and we just really enjoyed them. My husband is like a huge steak person, and so he was really excited. We also got some like little crab cakes that were absolutely delicious. Plus, cooking at home just makes for more family time. We loved it. Go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use my promo code Kristen120 to get $120 off of your first 4 boxes of Good Chop. That's goodchop.com/YouTube and use my promo code Kristen120, or you can just click the link below and this will get you $120 off across your first 4 boxes. So I will say that for the past 2 weeks, I have been doing no added sugar, if that makes sense. So I've actually cut out all refined sugar as well as even honey. I'm trying to only allow like natural sugars that are in like fruits and whatnot. And you guys would not believe the amount of sugar that is in like everything. I was joking that, you know, even you go to pick up a can of like tomato sauce and there's sugar in it. I'm like, oh, you know, maybe I can have like apples and peanut butter. Well, peanut butter has sugar in it. And so in turn, I have actually started cooking a lot of the things that I would usually just buy in a jar and making them from scratch instead. And it's actually been really fun. Our girls have totally gotten into this. They have like been sitting all around me. They literally sit up on the counters with me as I'm cooking and helping me just make peanut butter from scratch, make macaroni and cheese from scratch. Like we're just making everything from scratch these days. And I have loved it. I'm truly trying to eat with just whole foods and mostly trying to avoid like prepackaged items, you know, or items with preservatives, all that kind of stuff. I'm actually doing this as a challenge with my church right now. It's part of that book that we're reading through. I can't say I've loved it so far. I really enjoy my flavored coffee creamer in the morning, but it's okay. Honestly, I'm trying to learn my way around sugar because I realize how much of it is just integrated into our days. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on YouTube, but I actually think I might be allergic to sugar. It really makes my throat feel bad. It makes me feel bad in general. And so I'm trying to see if I feel better by cutting it out. So we've been focusing on just really cooking like very nourishing meals here at home. And I've honestly been so proud. Like every time I open my fridge, I'm so proud of everything that I see inside. But this also comes from just the amount of sickness that we've gone through in our home. It's just been crazy. And honestly, I feel like we're kind of always sick. And so I'm really hoping if we buckle down and really focus on nutrition if that will help. And if not, then maybe we need to get this place inspected for mold or something, because I am so tired of the sickness. But yeah, I told you guys last year that I've been working on trying to try a new recipe each week. We've gotten a few cookbooks and it's awesome. Some of those recipes have really like made it into our like normal routine of meals that we're making. I don't know about y'all, but we always wind up turning back to like tacos, spaghetti, like just the same meals all the time. And I'm really trying to introduce some new stuff. However, I feel like as our kids are getting older, they're getting pickier, and I'm just like, I'm kind of over that, to be honest with you. But we have stopped bringing home food from church, and I'm trying to make meal planning less of an option and more of a, like, I have to do this. I have to plan out our meals. We have to be eating healthy. And so far, our whole family has really been enjoying it. As for my second habit, it's kind of similar. Basically, it's about daily exercise. So last year, I got into this about this time of year. And y'all, I was so good for so long. I lasted all the way through the summer, honestly. Well, until things just started getting like real loosey-goosey with summer schedules. But I was working out like every morning, basically. First of all, I hate waking up early in the morning, but I do it every single day. Like, it's so hard for me. It's so hard for me to wake up and hate the fact that I'm up and then start exercising, and I hate exercising as well. But my husband is so strong. He literally like works out a ton, like multiple days a week. And I'm over here like the weakest person in the world. And so I know that he fears for my like health. And so I am partially doing it for him. But I think I've also made excuses because I'm pregnant, you know, and so I'm like, oh, you know, well, I'm pregnant, so I don't need to be working out. And I realized that that's a dumb excuse as well. Like, there's plenty of things that I can be doing to strengthen other areas of my body that I should be able to do for most of the way through my pregnancy. So no excuses there anymore. Thirdly, I really want to commit to studying the life of Jesus and the way that he lived. So in this being challenge that we're going through as a church, there's like 5 things that they want you to focus on. It is committing to community, studying scripture, prioritizing prayer. There is like choosing church, and also seeking solitude and silence. And so honestly, just doing all of those on a daily basis. I'm actually really excited because tomorrow my new book from John Mark Comer should be coming out. It's called Practicing the Way, and that's exactly what all of this is about too. So be prepared for me to start sharing some wisdom with y'all that I have received out of that book. I love how Eugene Peterson paraphrases Jesus's words in Matthew 11. He says, "Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it and learn the unforced rhythms of grace." So the purpose is that we do these things so often so that it becomes just part of our life. It becomes ingrained. Because I know for me, things like reading my Bible, that doesn't just like happen naturally. My Bible does not just like fall open on my lap every day. I have to set alarms in my phone, and I have to actually make the decision, like, I'm going to stop working right now. I'm going to stand up and I am going to go over into the kitchen, open my book, and spend some time with the Lord. And that stuff has literally been life-changing for how I, just go about my day, how I interact with my husband, how I raise my kids. These things are so life-giving, but man, they take concentrated effort. Matthew 7:24-27 says, "Therefore, anyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall because it had a foundation on the rock." Y'all, I'm trying to build a foundation, whether it's like through my time with the Lord or through health stuff or through just intentionality in my home. My goal is to strengthen the foundation so that my kids see this, so that they can see a picture of love in our home and they can continue to raise their families in this way. "But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like the foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash." So y'all, this is what happens when we choose to just do whatever feels good as opposed to doing what is right. For my 4th habit, it's about choosing less screen time. So for the last couple weeks, I also have not been on social media at all, and I've actually cut all media out of my life, including podcasts, YouTube, any TV. I will say that I watch TV after we put the girls down at night whenever my husband's home, just because that's kind of like what we do at night after everybody's put down. But just basically like choosing to not pick up my phone during the day, not to reward myself with a TV show at nap time. You know, I think it's interesting how often I choose to reward myself with like a YouTube video, and I realize how much of the silence in my life I just fill with noise all the time, and then I feel surprised by how overstimulated I am. And so I can't say that I've enjoyed it, but I know that it is going to be beneficial for my life as a whole. I know that I am giving my kids much more intentional attention. I'm not nearly as distracted, so I feel like I'm able to give my family my best. I also feel like I'm much more productive. And so although this is something that we're doing as a church for a while, I intend to keep these habits and these practices going as much as I can after, just for the sake of our entire family. And so like that kind of leads me into my fifth habit, which is just creating a home, like having an actual, like being an actual homemaker. So I think that I've always been intimidated by the idea of being a homemaker because I'm like naturally messy. I think I've told you guys that. And I'm like, oh, you know, like a really good homemaker always has like a perfect home. And, you know, things are always like perfectly clean. And that's absolutely something that I need to be better about. You know, like I actually put a lot of work into cleaning my house on a daily basis, and I feel like it's still a wreck half the time. Honestly, my friend Andrea from Pine and Prospect Home, I have been talking with her, and she actually released a new homemaking. It's called The Heart of Homemaking. It's like an online course that she just came out with. And you guys, there is so much involved in this course. I thought I was like all the way through it, or almost all the way through it, and I looked and I'm still only about like halfway through. I cannot believe the amount of content that she has created for this course. And so you guys know that her and we chat all the time, and so I've been so excited for her to release this. I'm gonna leave a affiliate link below. If you guys choose to purchase this, which I would highly recommend, you would be supporting her, but you would also be supporting me because I get like a small commission if you guys choose to do that. But let me just tell you that this course has been so encouraging, really just revealing like the heart behind homemaking, and like so much like scripture behind it. And you can tell that she really just put her heart and soul into preparing this. And there is so much wisdom. There's so many tools that she provides, like not only in what she is speaking about, she has like a video version and a podcast version, but also she provides all kinds of tools and links and PDF printouts, like all kinds of stuff that are in like the notes below each video. I'm telling y'all, it is so awesome and encouraging. And you know, if any of you guys are a homemaker or you're hoping to be a homemaker someday, I would highly recommend this. It is so encouraging, especially for somebody like me who really needs some help sometimes, because y'all, it's hard out there in these streets. I need to be better about like organizing routines and rhythms in our home. I've actually been reading this book called The Life-Giving Home by Sally and Sarah Clarkson. And let me go ahead and grab it really quick. And there was a portion that I thought was really good. Okay, so this is in reference to like organizing your rhythms in your life and whatnot. She says, but all great works of life must be planned in order to make them productive, useful, and flourishing. Great works of life don't just happen. They must be imagined, planned, and worked on before they become a reality. So y'all, that's what I'm trying to do with our home, with my life, with my habits. But the more carefully we plan our days, the better our homes will provide us with the freedom and enjoyment, as well as purpose and accomplishment. So one of the main goals in all of these habits also is to create a life-giving home, one that I feel free to invite people into. Listen, I invite people into our home all the time, whether it's dirty or messy or clean or whatever. I really try to be intentional about like having community and lots of people in here, and also showing them that it's okay to be a mess sometimes. I mean, like right now, look at this. I got a lot of laundry to do. Here's some of the questions that she asks herself each year. She says, what daily rhythms will help me accomplish what needs to be done and enhance our relationships? What chores need to be done each day? Who will do them, and how will I make sure that they are done? Am I doing something now that doesn't need to be done? And what daily and weekly rituals will bring pleasure and mark important areas in which I can invest my moments? So she kind of goes further into these, but this is something that I am planning on really working through in my free time, whatever that is. Now that I'm not like watching any TV, there is a little bit more free time, I will say, but I really need to invest in like creating a little bit better rhythms, just to be able to make a home that like celebrates our kids, celebrates our family. I have been working really hard lately that when Josh comes home, like I literally want to greet him with like the biggest smile. He's been out like snow blowing for days, and I am sitting here like literally watching him, trying to like pinpoint like when is he going to come inside so that I can greet him with like a hot meal, just stuff like that. Like things, those small things make such a difference of just like people, like our kids coming home to a home that wants to like celebrate them, you know what I mean? And so anyway, in order for those things to function, you have to have planning. And so that is a thing that I'm going to be focusing on this year as well. So again, I don't have like all of these things perfectly fleshed out yet, but I just wanted to give you guys kind of like an outline of what I am working on this year. So I did just want to finish out this video by reading Philippians 4:8. It says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. So that is the goal of all of this, that we are setting ourselves apart as homemakers and creating all together a life of hope and happiness and health. I just want to create a healthier environment for myself and for our family this year. And so thank you so much for joining me and just like reading over this kind of stuff. I'm really excited for this next year. I'm excited to share with you guys the journey. And I would love if y'all would tell me in the comments what like habits you guys are trying to instill this year, like what changes, whether you want to call them resolutions or goals or whatever. I would love to hear what are your wins this year. And you know, you can tell me what your losses are as well, because you know, I failed on many of these last year and I'm probably gonna fail in these this year as well. But I just want this video to serve as like encouragement for y'all. So anyway, thank you again for being here, and we will see you next week. Bye.